Hello, buddy. Welcome back to Redmen TV after Liverpool beat Lille 2-1. A lot of people in the chat talking about Barcelona making it 5-4, which normally, kind of still doesn't matter really, but a little bit frustrating because it means we aren't through top, which would have been nice to say, wouldn't it, after tonight? Because that was kind of the whole deal tonight, really, wasn't it? Like, Liverpool win the game was obviously paramount to all of this. Yeah, which is guaranteed second, which is sound, all good. But yeah, it would have been nice. Because I don't know how much that means we've got to play for next week at PSV, but going through as leaders as guaranteed first place would have meant very little. So in terms of next week, what would have been at stake? So yeah, a bit annoying. But anyway, forget that. Forget the negativity. All good. How are we? Hope everyone's well in the chat. Let's talk about it, shall we? The goals. Salah, Elliott. Yeah. Decent performance for Liverpool. I think I'm just a little bit. The Barcelona game has annoyed me. The fact they've managed to score so late. Some of the goals in that were wild, by the way. But I'm just a bit, slightly concerned that like Curtis Jones and possibly Luis Diaz have picked up something along the way there. Because they were both taken off, seemingly hurt. Curtis Jones at half-time seems to limp off, a couple of times actually during the first half. He picked up a couple of knocks here and there. So let's just hope and pray that there was a clean bill of health off the back of that. Because, again, along with winning the game and guaranteeing the highest possible place, what could have been potentially first place as mentioned, there was an element of just don't get hurt anyone and just come through it. So yeah, just ever so slightly. I'm with you as well here, but hoping that they're both okay. Anyway, let's do it. 15, 20 minutes. This is your forum. This is your time. Come and talk to me. What do we think? How happy are we? What do we make of that performance from the Reds? And the app getting us back on track. Never mind, Bar. So we qualify for the round of 16. We don't have to push through the extra 2 games job. But yeah, that is a massive deal in all of this. But the way this group works, there's also, you can't deny the fact that finishing higher should, in theory, means because of the seeding, you get a lesser opponent. But again, we touched upon it earlier on, the way the entirety of this has sort of gone, that you could well be Real Madrid and Man City, wherever you come. So we'll have to wait and see. We played well in top gear. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think the first half an hour in particular were very one-paced, very lacklustre from us. And Lille were a decent side. They were well-organised side. They were well-drilled, and they didn't make it easy. Certainly for us to play through them, through the middle, that's without a doubt. But, yeah, it was just flat was the word they used to describe that first half in particular. And, again, the first half an hour or so. Sparked into life with a brilliant goal. Obviously, Jones through to Salah, ending what's been a week of drama and sort of, a couple of days of drama and people getting frustrated with the Jones, Hazard, Salah comments. Yeah, I get the annoyance with it all, but at the same time, he adores Mo Salah. That's never really been in question. He tweeted yesterday, didn't he? I know I'd rather have in my team. So never really got me back up massively, to be honest. But it was a nice, a very ironic way to open the scoring with them two celebrating together, of course. So, and then the second goal, Harvey Elliott made an impact for me. Second half, I was really, really impressed with him once again. Adds that energy, doesn't he? Adds that directness and adds that, like I say, the buzz and the ability to get around the pitch and want to make things happen. Yeah, I just love watching Harvey Elliott play for us. Raheem says, Arne will want to beat PSV anyway. Quite possibly there's a Dutch connection there. Nervy at times, but we got the win. Bring on the tractor boys on Saturday. Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think, if we discover that Jones and Diaz are absolutely sound and there's no issues there, then we can look at this win in a bit more positive light and a bit more perspective and be like, actually, it was nigh on perfect. You've got minutes into some legs, you've got some rest into others. And yet again, you've picked up 3 points in Europe. 7 out of 7, qualified through to the last 16, as already mentioned. So yeah, positives. Definite positives. Joanne Alaviso says, I'm sure Gakpo wants to beat his former team too. Yeah, he'll be on a mission, as will Arne Slot, and Virgil van Dijk as well probably falls into that category. So Gravenberg too, but yeah. The Dutch connection goes on. Booking your flight. Sorry, what? Booking your flight this Saturday. See you in May. Okay, see you in May. Yeah. See you in May. Okay. The Wayne Kerr says, lack of concentration after sending off. Yeah, we did. Someone used the word sloppy a minute ago in the chat. And I think that's probably about right, to be honest. It was just a little bit, I don't know if it was too comfortable, whether we thought Lille couldn't really hurt us. Lille posed a bit of a threat when it was 11v11. Once we got the numerical advantage, maybe we did just go, okay, that's probably job done now. And then to their credit, they rallied and they created a couple of moments. Obviously equalised, Jonathan David with the goal. And then even later on, as the game looks to be petering out into nothing, really, they had a couple more moments. So you've got to give Lille, a very resilient Lille side, some plaudits for what they were able to do. But again, I think we had gears to go through and we had levels to our game, and it felt like we were always just at 1-2 pace, and had needed, we might have gone into the reserves and really kicked it up a notch, but thankfully wasn't required. Okay, let's dive back into chat. Chiesa looks so promising, almost a mixture of Nunes and Gakpo in a way. Yeah, I was really pleased with Chiesa. I was actually really impressed with all of the subs tonight, more or less. Chiesa, I've already mentioned Harvey, Elliott. Endo did well when he came on too. So yeah, I was delighted with their impact and their hunger, really, because during the first half an hour, I touched upon it a moment ago when we were, again, a bit one-paced, a bit flat. I felt like we might have missed a trick in not starting some of the fringe lads, because they're the lads who want to make an impression. They're the lads who are desperate to stake a claim, really, for first team, selection in terms of actually being part of Arne Slot's plans moving forwards and starting 11s. So I did wonder whether the game and the lack of jeopardy and the lack of sort of drama around the game, and the team that starts most games, or the players and the individuals that start most games, maybe as a combination, it meant that it was just a little bit like, run of the mill, we should probably win this, but do we really want to extend and overexert ourselves? Whereas if you'd gone with Elliott, Chiesa, Endo, a couple of others sprinkled in as well, because I thought Conor Bradley was on the bright lights in the first half, certainly in an attacking sense, and then obviously the others, as mentioned, when they came on in the second, they really showed a willingness to make something happen in that game. So that was my take on it anyway. But listen, all's well that ends well, as I often say on this show at a minute about Liverpool, because it is very much job done. That's the kind of the whole thing, really. It's job done. Cisse says, I must have missed Curtis limping on. Yeah, a couple of times. He managed to continue both times. As one, he got in a real tangle and looked like he might have twisted his knee at one point, but got up and played on and saw out the rest of the half. So I'm not gravely concerned about any of the potential knocks, injuries, whatever. But there is that hope. Again, there's just that hope that there isn't anything. And if Slot doesn't mention it post-game, we're probably all right. We're probably in the clear. But yeah, let's just hope and pray. Darwin won both one of the more pleasing elements of tonight, actually, again, aside from the 3 points and what it means in the grander scheme of things in Champions League stakes, is the working back from Darwin. Diaz did it as well, so Bosley did it, but he always does. And nicking the ball off Lille, because it was as if Lille at times felt they were playing at a League One pace. And they had all the time in the world just to saunter and meander into Liverpool's half. And then it was Diaz, it was Nunes, as mentioned, getting back and just nicking it, and away we go. And that was really pleasing. Like, you haven't got that time in Champions League anyway, but certainly not on Anfield, and certainly not on just Liverpool side, to just dwell on the ball and look up and take in your surroundings and maybe play a pass, because we're on you, and we're on you like a shot. And that was good. Really, really good. Barry says Chiesa just stinks of class. Again, I was really pleased with Chiesa when he came on, and looked dangerous. He gets himself into a lot of promising positions, and by that I don't just mean in areas. I mean with the ball at his feet, and he manufactures opportunities to shoot. He's done it a lot from the right-hand side, cutting in from the left, and tonight he was doing it from the left, cutting into the right. So yeah, the signs are good. If you can get him sharper, more football, fitter, then yeah, there might be somebody there ready to make an impact, because again, promising, really, really promising. Right, Darwin was fine, man, his bollocks off. Yeah, I was pleased for Darwin. It would have been nice to back up his exploits at the weekend to get the goal to round off. Obviously he scores later on, but it's offside. He's literally like stood in like row F of the Kop at that point. But yeah, he impressed me tonight, to be fair. I was pleased. And just good for him to get more minutes under the belt, to be fair, because God knows he needs them. Right, let me see what this super chat is here. Let me bring it up on my screen. Good performance. Elliott with another good game. Yeah, once again, we spoke a lot about Harvey Elliott pre-match. His celebration was interesting. How much of a message it was, we'll never truly know. We had this with Trent, recently, I couldn't think who it wasn't. We had this for Trent, and this was similar tonight with Harvey because it was talking and it was like no, and it was like I'm staying here. Brilliant. Like I can't explain enough how much I want Harvey Elliott to stay at this football club. Like I adore him, but I just believe in my very, very being that he'll need to play a lot of football for that to be the case, for him to warrant staying. And I hope that's the case as well, because, again, tonight is another example of Harvey Elliott playing football for Liverpool in any capacity, any position, really, and me loving watching him play football. It feels like that never doesn't happen. It's always the case, so... Please. Mutz, say what you see with a super chat. Thank you very much. Well, lads, Chiesa song by Billy Joel. Federico Chiesa, he was born in the Mediterranean and now he lives by Merseyside, and so on. We had a lot of song chat tonight. I'm not against it, but there's been a lot of song chat tonight. Knocky Knock says Jonathan Davis a big fish in a small pond. I think he'll be on his way, won't he, to be honest with you? Well, almost certainly, given the fact he's out of contract in a few months. Interesting to see where he lands at, because I was relatively impressed. I wasn't, I won't be banging down the doors at the AXA tomorrow to demand we go and offer a contract to Jonathan David, let's put it like that. But yeah, I thought he was decent. Scores at Anfield, which is a mini box ticked, I guess. But yeah, I'm not overly convinced he's the answer to our centre-forward dilemma moving forward. Charlie Leah says, 2-1 perfect night. What we have to behold. Yeah, it's all good. Ultimately, it's all good. Again, if anybody hears of news on Jones or Diaz, if indeed it does arrive, do let me know. But right now, I'm sat here quite content with what we've just been able to do. At Anfield, 7 wins from 7, into the last 16, cementing top 2. A step closer to top 1 and finishing first in spite of Barcelona's late show at Benfica. But yeah, pleased, really, really pleased. It's hard not to be because we are moving serenely. Morning, Dan, says Jerome. The fact that says morning blows my mind. It's just gone 10 o'clock at night here, but I'm aware I'm not at the centre of the universe. Far from it. How was that performance from Wata? Pleased with Endo? Yeah, I think Endo was brilliant. Again, as he so often is, comes in, plug and play, does a job for Liverpool Football Club, kind of does what he says on the tin by this point, doesn't he? Similar to Elliott, you just know what you're going to get from him. You know what to expect, and he delivers more or less every single time. So, yeah, he is. He's turned himself into, without playing a lot of football, really, it's an odd thing that he's managed to do, but he's turned himself into a very, very handy squad player. And that sounds like I'm doing him a disservice. I'm absolutely not. But if you can come in and perform your role as ably as he can, that is huge. Like, we extolled the virtues and just adored James Milner for various reasons, but one of them was being able to drop him into games and just know what you're going to get in terms of consistent performance. Great leader as well, as is Wataru Endo. But there's something to be said for them. You can't have a squad of, Mo Salahs. It'd be lovely, Virgil van Dijk's, etc., etc. You do need a little bit of everything and a real mixture and blend and a combination of different facets and components. And Wataru Endo is actually quite a pivotal one within that for my money. So I'm really... Listen, there's longer term, there's a conversation, and KJ SJ7 brings it up here. He'd actually keep him, and maybe that's the right answer. But there is definitely a conversation. But for the here and now, yeah, absolutely sounds with Wataru Endo being an option for us. And why not? Let's just do the Mutts. Say what you see is back again. Hopefully the Cop starts singing the chorus of the matches. Great win tonight, delighted for Elliott. Yeah, always delighted for Elliott. Always delighted for Elliott. And again, just another example of what he's able to do when given an opportunity. Seems Chiesa wants to score bad. Did you see the Chiesa celebration with Harvey Elliott when he scored the goal? Just joyous. And at that point, he wasn't even on the pitch. And that just shows you where he's at in terms of his mindset and his happiness, because there was a lot of reports and rumours about him being homesick and not settling in Liverpool and wanting to go back to Italy and blah, 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 blah. Not a single bit of it. Like, he is a Red. He is fully invested in the cause. So, yeah, all good. Is that true? What's on the screen there? Finally. I like the little bit of needle that's developed between them. It's clearly just all good fun and good humoured. But yeah, I'm a fan. Barry, he never lets you down, Zendo. That gum shield is awesome. Man's ready for war. Absolutely is. Gage on the left from Salah on the right looks scary. Gage is just so direct. Yeah, and listen, I want to see more of him ultimately. I think we all do as well. I think we've all had our whistle wetted. I'm not sure that's the terminology, but you get where I'm coming from. By the little flashes we've seen of Federico Chiesa. We just want to see an hour of it now and then 90 minutes of it at some point. And listen, with the games we've got coming up, obviously, PSV is one of these now next week, as is Plymouth, as is Spurs in the Cup, although they've got their own levels of importance, all three of them games. They're not throwaway, let's hope we got beat sort of games by any stretch. But yeah, I think they are opportunities for the likes of Elliott, Endo, but most definitely for Federico Chiesa as well, to be honest. So let's hope. What of his boss? Love the fella. My whistle is drowned by John Jameson. Good for you. Right, I'll just dive into Twitter and then we will wrap this shit up. Let me just go on Twitter. That isn't Twitter at all. That is the Lille lineup. Don't want that. No interest in that right now. Dead honest with you. Right, where are we? Here we go. Found it. Sound. LFC Seattle kicks us off with measured, composed, nervy, controlled, mature. So many words to describe that match. Ultimately to win. 3 points and undefeated in the Champions League this season. Arna's slot taking care of itself. Harvey, man the match for him. The old Fieldhouse says Premier League Champions League performances and results are unbelievable. Dreamland at this point in the season. We need to convert that position into a Premier League title minimum. Yeah, absolutely concur with that. Brad says solid performance, top of the league on to Saturday. Then a random video of Jurgen Klopp doing the Arne Slot chant. Good win. Lille, very impressive. Definitely one of the more capable teams we've seen this year. They might struggle to hold on to a few of those players. Yeah, maybe. I thought Lille were that organised. Yeah, again, a team don't lose often. We haven't lost for a long time prior to tonight. So, yeah, I just don't know how much threat they had. I don't know how dangerous they were. Again, they had moments. I know it's difficult against a very good Liverpool team at Anfield in Europe. I'm not expecting teams to come and, you know, really give us a major bloody nose. I certainly don't want that to be the case. But, yeah, I wasn't overly impressed with Lille and overly enamoured with Jonathan David, as I already mentioned. Decent, all of them decent. And one or two of them may well be getting, you know, eyed up for a move elsewhere. And if David was to arrive at Liverpool, I could make peace with it. But again, off the basis of tonight, it's funny actually, because when we played Benfica and Darwin Núñez ran the show, I was coming away from that night being like, we really need to take a closer look at that lad. Like, he is special. And he was doing the numbers as well in the Premier League at the time. And it felt like his trajectory was on a one-way path to stardom, basically. So I was glad when we went and did it. Obviously, as we know, yeah, whatever. But with David, it wasn't that tonight. The audition at Anfield was nowhere near as spectacular, nowhere near as eye-catching to go, we cannot miss out on that, lads. Very good, free agent, possibly, but yeah, I'm not convinced. Matthew Gladwin says, good result, Harvey and Chiesa looked likely. Likely? No, they didn't. Lively. Finally, good performance in Quanta, I thought, looked a lot more confident, which was good. Yeah, do you know what? I'm delighted for Quanta, actually, because often we've come away from games this season where he's featured and there's been moments of concern around his performance. He's made an error here or there. He's struggled with this, that, whatever. But there was none of that tonight, really. And I think that's the most pleasing thing you could probably say from tonight, rather, because, yeah, he needed a night like that. Just a non-fussy, non-eventful. It'd have been great if he was involved in a clean sheet. Of course it would have. But yeah, just not being centre of attention is actually really quite important for Jarell Quansah right now. So I'm delighted for him. I'm a big fan, and I think he's been written off. I've seen earlier on people linking us to various centre-backs and what we need to do in the centre-back department, and I probably do need to do something in it. There's a Virgil van Dijk successor conversation to be had at some point, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I think we are quick to dismiss Quansah's prospects, having spoken so highly of him 8-9 months ago, and he actually, you know, we forget he ousted Ibu Konate as the number one choice for a little while there. So yeah, don't write him off. Chiesa celebrating Harvey's goal was just class. Yeah, it was boss. Yeah, we do get more prize money. The prize money is actually quite high as well for winning these games. So listen, we're not talking like go and sign a footballer high. It's like 2 million, I think, 2.1 million maybe per Champions League win, which is higher than normal. So there is that element of it. And listen, if it pays for a new Mo Salah contract, then let's go and win as many games as possible. Like, but yeah, it's not the be all and end all for me. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. Really, I don't really care how much money Liverpool earn from winning games of football in the Champions League. I just want us to win games of football in the Champions League. There we go. God Fowler confirming what I just said. Wonderful. I'm glad I was right. That's nice to see. Sad. I wrap the show up and I move on to the most important show of the night. I always say this. Bear with me momentarily. This bit's important that you guys speak, because otherwise me rambling, which it kind of is anyway, but you get my point. But do join me for the next bit, because it's Boss Sound, you're messing time. Now, if you don't come and join me for that, I'm just looking ridiculous. So come and join me. There is no sex show. I hope I didn't say sex show. On that note, if anybody hasn't seen the tweet from, I think it was like LFC Online, they've actually deleted their entire Twitter since it. But if anyone has seen that tweet, or hasn't seen that tweet, go and I urge you to try and find it, because it's been screenshotted by a couple of people. Basically, the context of it is they were celebrating Salah's goal, and they kind of put like 1-0 Salah, you know, as you do, blah, whatever, sound all good. And then I assume they meant to link like a picture of Salah or a video of the goal, one of them things. What they linked to can only be described as very much not that. I'm not willing to share what they link to at this moment, because we let a lot of things slide here at Redmen TV. We're quite, fast and loose with what we talk about. We have a laugh. We talk serious football. We try and have proper conversations, but also at the same time, we're quite happy to, push the boundaries. However, I'm not willing to tell you what it was a link to, because it's disgusting. So if you want to find it, it's out there. That's all I'm telling you, okay? Liverpool FC Online or Liverpool Online, one of them. A tweet that's since been deleted. They've since removed the entirety of their account, because I assume the embarrassment was that much. So yeah, and I don't really blame them, because I'll be honest, if it was me, if it was the Redmen account, I might have been forced to do the same and just explain to Paul and Chris, or try and explain to Paul and Chris, or leave the country. One or the other. Sound. I'll go and do the other show now. Don't quite know how we ended on that, but yeah, do find it. And if you can't find it, ask a mate, because they might have found it. Boss, sounds. I'll see you in a minute.